cultural beliefs, and that hasn't got us anywhere. But the economics of this thing just don't work. So in Hawaii, we have the highest electric rates in the United States. Alaska's second. They pay 27 cents a kilowatt hour. We're paying 41 cents a kilowatt hour right now for electricity. The average in the United States is 17 cents. So in 2019, solar became competitive with the average solar, Midwestern rates of 17 cents. That's when the lines crossed on the economics, where it is now more affordable or the same affordability in 2019, but that's at 17 cents. We've been in Hawaii, we've been paying 30, 40 cents for way longer than that. So solar has been a much cheaper way to go here. And the problem with that is HELCO and the grid. So, you know, they want to do big solar plants and push it through the grid and sell you the power. And you know, the part of this geothermal they've been selling us since 1981 is that, you know, this is going to make cheap power. Geothermal is going to bring your bill down. Well, in 1981, we were paying, I think, 10 cents or 12 cents a kilowatt hour. We're paying 41 cents. So where did that ever happen? When did that ever happen? And on top of that, it's not only that we pay the highest electric rates in the United States, they've spent $100 million in tax dollars. So not only are you paying those rates, you're paying with your tax dollars, you're paying for emergency responses, you're paying for all of this stuff. It's probably the most expensive power that you can get with emergency responses. There's been more emergency evacuations and accidents. There's no other power plant in the history of the United States, in the history of Hawaii, that has caused multiple community evacuations. So, can you go to the next slide? And here's some of the rates here, and you know, showing different things. Can we go ahead and move on? But it just basically shows that solar prices have come down since 1976, over 99%. So it was about $75 a watt in 1976, and right now, well, here it's dropped. It was $76 a watt in 1977, and now it's just today a guy called me and he wanted to sell me 315 watt solar panels for $125 each, and the batteries 5 years ago. Battery prices have come down 89% since 2010, and they want to tell you, when you try to talk to people about solar, they want to tell you the batteries, that it's not 24/7 power, it's not, you know, you have to have backup generation, and that's just not true anymore. And so anybody that says the batteries are not competitive, they're wrong, or they're misleading you intentionally. So just as an example, 5 or 6 years ago, I bought some batteries. They were 48 volt, 100 amp batteries, and they were about $5,000. And then 3 years ago, I bought a 48 same battery, 48 volts, 100 amps, and they were $1,400. Right now, you can buy those same batteries for $900. So in 5 years, you went from 5,000 to 900. That's over 80% right there on batteries. And here's the thing: you're never going to get cheap power from HELCO or the grid. So these giant solar arrays, geothermal, it doesn't matter, because they have to put it into the grid to distribute the power, and that's over half the cost. That's over half the cost. They're going to tell you that's not true, but they pay HELCO's cost for the power that they're sending to you is 17 cents a kilowatt hour. You're paying 41 cents a kilowatt hour. What else is there besides producing the power and delivering the power? There's advertising, there's profit. That's not very much. At least 50% of what you pay is for the grid. Puna right now is the largest off-grid solar community in the whole United States that I can find. All around the geothermal plant, Dave back there, me, Luana, we didn't have we didn't have Helco power. We all are independent solar. So independent solar, they hate independent solar because it doesn't involve Helco. You own the stuff, you pay for it in 5 years, 10 years max, and you don't have an electric bill anymore. It's zero. How much cheaper can you get than that? But where are our legislators? Where are even our county council people? How come we're given $2.7 million on top of the $100 million already to come out and sell you guys geothermal instead of creating a fund so people can put these things, because the upfront cost is the only thing. But even the upfront costs nowadays, it depends on the size of your system, but for a whole house, having somebody come out and put that system in is between $15,000 and $25,000 for a normal house. The average electric bill in Hawaii is $420 a month. So the only reason is it's a threat to the grid. It's a threat to Helco. They don't want, and instead, what is Helco doing? We're going to build a smart grid. Well, that's going to cost you how much more? A smart grid, moving electricity from a centralized power plant, whether it's geothermal or solar or oil or whatever it is, to where you need it is very inefficient. It's very expensive. If you want to get efficient, affordable power, you put it where you need it. You put it right on the buildings, even stores, corporations. Can we go ahead and move around? I don't know if we got it here, but anyway, okay, so here's where Hawaii is when we crossed. So we crossed in 2008 or 2009, where we became level. This is the mainland where they crossed at 17 cents, 2018, 2019. We're the perfect storm for independent solar on our houses. We have the highest electric rates. We have the greatest solar resource. I mean, geothermal, they're never going to build this plant. I'm going to tell you, this whole thing, they're making all this money. These guys are running around and they're taking this money and everybody's getting rich. You know how long they said it's going to take to build this plant? Minimum 12 years. Somewhere between 12 and 20 years from now. Look at the solar prices right now. Every year solar comes down. Every year the batteries come down. But they're going to, in 12 years or 20 years, they're going to build a geothermal power. They're going to have to build a new grid because they don't even really want to use Helco grid. This is their own model. But no matter what, wherever they put this thing, they got to move that power. So it's not just $200 million to build a power plant. It's another $200 million or whatever it's going to cost them to build a grid to move that. And it's never going to happen because before that, we're all going to have independent solar. It's getting so cheap, and it's like, why? I haven't had a Helco bill since 1999. Have not paid any electric bill since 1999. Right now, I pay zero because my system's long paid for. Now, I have a commercial system. It's huge. We'll see some pictures here, maybe. I can't remember the order of all this stuff. Yeah, can we go to the pictures? Okay, so this is the kind of stuff that's happening. You just put it where you need it. And this is commercial, like Walmart, Target, Meta. They're all putting in huge systems. They're putting in so much solar and battery right now, those huge corporations, to not only to fund their data centers, which is a huge new thing where they need a lot of power, but they're making so much, they want to sell it to you. They're keeping theirs hooked to the grid because they're going to make more than they use, and they're all going to be power producers. Why? Because solar is that cheap. Solar is cheap. They're not buying their power from nuclear. They're not buying their power from geothermal. They're making their own power, and these are their bottom line. These are corporations. The most important thing to them is money. And so solar is just that much more affordable. This is how simple a system is. Panels, charger, batteries, that's it. That's all you need now. And now they have kits. Like you can buy this whole thing as a kit, $5,000, $15,000. they're getting to where you can even plug it in, so it's getting easy to install now. Solar technology, this is my house. Solar technology now is progressing so fast that I can't even keep up with it. Every time I go online to look at this stuff, to write about it and all that, it's getting better and better. I mean, every year, I think every 6 months, there's every corporation and university and government around the planet is trying to find a way to make a better battery or better solar systems because it's billions and billions of dollars. Whoever comes up with the best stuff, look at Elon Musk. I mean, whoever comes up in Honolulu, they just got rid of, these are my batteries, I'll show you this in just a minute. But in Honolulu, they just built a 546 megawatt battery. They retired the coal plant. One battery, because they want the grid now, but one battery can produce 546 megawatts of power. I mean, they can run that thing with no sun, it can be raining, and it's still going to run for a week or 2 weeks or whatever. So batteries are good. These are the batteries that I bought 3 or 4 years ago. Were $1,400 a piece, 48 volt, 100 amp. I have 6 of them, but I have a 5-acre commercial farm. That's what they look like. That's it. That's all it is now. But for a regular house, you need 2. If you have a really huge system, you might want 3. Well, I paid $1,400 for that. So say you want 3 of them, you're going to pay $2,700 for your batteries. And the solar, I got offered solar panels today for 40 cents a watt. Guy wanted to sell me brand new 315 watt solar panels for $125 each. So where could, putting it together, so you gotta hire somebody to put together. But I talked to the solar, one of the big guys here that does solar in Puna, and he said between 15 and 25,000, depending on what you want. And he'll come out, bring you all the equipment, put it together. So why isn't that $2.7 million helping us? We're the taxpayers, it's our money anyway. I mean, they could create a fund where you could pay half what you're paying now for your electric bill to reimburse that fund so they can keep going. Why don't they put 50 million or 100 million into a fund right now and help us all just go independent? Because it would kill telco. Because that's corporations fund our legislature. That's what Terry was up here talking about, what's going on over there. I worked at the legislature when Russell was there on this whole stuff, on all this stuff. And I can tell you it was the most corrupt thing I've ever seen. Backroom deals, and they just ostracized Russell because Russell was trying to actually do something to help us. He couldn't get anything passed. They made his life hell because they were like, if you want anything, you have to play ball, and that's how it works. I'll be happy to answer questions later if you have any questions.